Hey guys, it's Lizzie. So I just did again what I have done so many times where my audio was connected to my headphones because I was just editing a YouTube video and the headphones were in a totally different room. And then I start live streaming and the audio output is connected to my headphones, so literally no one can hear me. So that's what just happened. So I'm starting over this live stream. So I am in Florida right now and there's a crazy thunderstorm going on. It's kind of apocalyptic what the lightning has been like and everything. So it's really, really scary. And where I'm staying has a dog, and the dog is like freaking out and shaking. It's so bad. And it almost felt like the house was shaking. Like I thought I saw it shaking. So it's kind of scary what's going on. Nathan says we can hear you now. Yay! Hi, Catholic Diary, duh. That's a funny username. Hi, Bethia. Hi, Lizzie. Can Orthodox wear miraculous medals? Absolutely. I thought one Orthodox girl I know said she wears miraculous medals. So yeah, absolutely. Whenever people are like, I'm Protestant, can I pray the rosary? I'm like, absolutely. I'm Orthodox, can I wear a miraculous medal? Yes. We're not like saying like only Catholics can do this, except with the Eucharist, only Catholics can receive the Eucharist. And we actually say that Orthodox can receive our Eucharist as well. Although the Orthodox Church says that it's a sin for them to receive the Eucharist from Catholicism, but we have that open invitation, so hopefully we can reunite someday and become one church and then bring in millions of Protestants in the process. I think that would be amazing. You guys will be so proud of me that I'm on like really strong Wi-Fi right now. It's the best Wi-Fi I've ever connected to in my entire life. My YouTube video, which is several gigabytes, it uploaded in under a minute. I'm not kidding. It usually takes like 30 minutes to an hour and a half to upload a YouTube video, and it was up in 1 minute. And then I downloaded a video to edit for my social media, and that was like in a second. So the Wi-Fi will not mess up this entire stream, I promise. Hi, Caitlin. Hi, Keith. Lizzie, I love you. I love you too. Hi, Mariana. Nathan said, I had a bad experience tonight. My first meeting with my local Catholic priest about becoming Catholic, he was very rude and disrespectful. It surprised me. That's shocking. A story similar to this is that Scott Hahn, who's like the most iconic Catholic convert I guess he was in the 20th century. Anyways, recent iconic Catholic convert. He was actually told when he went to convert into Catholicism, the priest was like, no, because of Vatican II, you're a Protestant, you don't need to become Catholic. Isn't that shocking? So he was literally discouraged from converting into Catholicism. So yeah, you're gonna have weird priests here and there, but you can still find a different priest, go to a different priest, talk to him about the situation, and I'm sure it will be better. So just find a new priest. Hi, Sirius. Edward said, dog gets scared with loud noises too. Uh-oh, Siri's going off. Okay. They thought, I'm not going to say it again. What's a good way to invite new Christians to Mass or Bible studies? So anytime I'm visiting one of my friends, I always invite them to come to Mass. I think it's just a sweet experience. I mean, I go to my friends' Protestant worship services, and Protestant Bible studies. So I think it's really, really good to be like, I'll go to your event, you can come to my event. And yeah, I think it just works out really, really well to share in both religious experiences. So because I go to Protestant church with my friends, they come to Mass with me. So I think that's a really good idea. But I will say, because I talk a lot about how I still go to Protestant church with my Protestant friends and family, you still have to go to, well, right now, you don't have to go to Mass. We don't have the obligation right now because of coronavirus. But usually when we're not having an international pandemic, we're required to go to Mass every Sunday, and going to Protestant church does not count as going to Mass. So I want to clarify that, because I always talk about how I want to like make my friends feel like understood and we're still Christians together and everything. But you still have to go to Mass on Sunday. It doesn't count as Mass. So people get confused because a lot of times I'll go to Mass like 3 times in a day. That's just normal to me, like on a Sunday. And so yeah, it makes sense too. We're like, I'll go to Protestant church, I'll go to Mass, I'll go to Mass again. Sundays is just like my day to binge. I don't really do daily Mass, it's weird. But every Sunday I go 2 or 3 times. So Patrick says, God bless everyone. David says, I bought the most beautiful necklace with a crown Ecuadorian Mary and baby Jesus on the pendant. Aww. Alex said, I usually light candles and read horror stories and case studies in dark rooms with hot beverages. I have a video series about the roles of Catholic sacraments and soteriology. Interesting. Hi, Lizzie. How are you? My Mormon friend wants to come to Mass with me. That's so good. I have an entire YouTube video talking about how to bring your friends to Mass, which I will share. Let's see. Because I talked about, I think it's like really hard explaining the Eucharist to people and why they can't go up to receive communion. So invite friends to Mass. Let's see if my YouTube video comes up. And then there's just a lot of things to explain, like genuflecting in front of the Eucharist. I always thought people were genuflecting in front of a statue of Mary. So I think it's important to explain that to people. And actually, fun fact about this YouTube video that I just put in the chat, there was an earthquake that happened when I was filming the video. And Trevor happened to be in the room with me when I was filming because he was visiting. And I wanted to get the earthquake on camera because I thought it would be a good YouTube video and get a lot of views. So I was filming my video and he's like, Liz, earthquake. And I was like, hey guys, I wanted to be like, hey guys, we're having an earthquake right now. Like, let's do an earthquake journey together. So, and then he's like, Liz, stop. Let's just get out. And it was like, I always expected an earthquake to be like, woo, but it was like, woo, like it was barely anything. And so he got mad at me after the fact because he's like, Liz, this is a natural disaster. Like, don't mess around. If it's an earthquake, you need to get in the hallway ASAP. So, but my friends who were in the apartment said that the swimming pool water was like, woo, woo, woo. But I think since the buildings in California are earthquake proof, that's why it didn't feel that scary. But yeah, so when I filmed that video, I had to pause halfway through for the earthquake. So that was actually my second earthquake in like a week. So yeah, last summer was kind of crazy. Miranda says, hi, Lizzie. I'm curious, what does it mean to have a patron saint and how do you get one or decide on one? So choosing a patron saint just means the person in heaven who's going to be praying for you throughout your journey on earth. So I picked Saint Irenaeus as my patron saint because he really helped me to become Catholic. Like, I wouldn't have seen the early church as being Catholic without Irenaeus. So that's why I picked him. And his name means peace. He really helped keep the church together during a crisis. I appreciate that. So he was just someone during my conversion who's really important. So choose a saint who's been important to you. If there has not been a saint who's been important to you, then just research different types of saints. Like, there's a saint for literally anything, like for dancing, for studying, for mental illness, like anything you can think of, there's a saint for. So just Google something that's important to you or a struggle you've gone through. And you can also like buy books talking about different saints. So just think about like, what is the most important part of who you are and your identity and your interests? And then what are struggles that you've gone through? And then find a saint who you can relate to. Nathan says, the good news is I start RCIA class next Monday. I'm very excited despite my bad experience tonight. Okay, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. Welcome home. Okay, buffering badly? Weird. I think someone's messing with me. It's not actually buffering. Why do you think people are turning away from religion? So I think we live in a really privileged society where we have all of our physical needs met. And because of that, people feel like they don't need God. Also, I have this theory that because we're living in such an industrialized society and because we're not in nature anymore, I think that affects us as well. Like, we're not walking around at night and seeing like a full sky of beautiful stars and forests. We're living in a place where there's just like a ton of buildings and we're not seeing God's creation. So I think that's really important. I also think that the Enlightenment caused a huge problem in Western culture that pushed people away from being religious. And that's why in non-Western cultures, their values, these people are actually still religious. And like in Africa, China, Catholicism is growing so much, and it's because it's non-Western. Also, individualism in our society makes people feel like they don't want to rely on God. So individualism is a problem, whereas like in the Southern Hemisphere, in like South America, Africa, China, Asia, they're more collectivist societies, and so they understand like needing people more and needing a community. Because Catholic Christianity is about having that community meeting together, so it just makes sense in a collectivist culture. So those are all the reasons for why I think that Christianity is on the decline in the US, Europe, Canada, Australia. Maybe it's on the decline too, I don't know. Okay. So Catholicism has been following me everywhere I go, and I found out today that my new office mate is Catholic, but I'm still praying about it. Oh, I'll become Catholic. That would make me so happy. Where was your thunderstorm, Lizzie, in Florida? I was in a tornado in Chicago. That's really, really scary. Hi, Lizzie. Oh, we already read that one. Let's see. Lizzie. Mariana says, have you heard the St. Ignatius letter almost made it into the Bible? Yes. So there are several letters that almost made it into the Bible. Pope Clement's letter to the Corinthians, and also the Shepherd of Hermas, that almost made it into the Bible. It was a council of Catholic bishops who voted through the intercession of the Holy Spirit on which books belong in the Bible. So when Protestants say, I go by the Bible was literally put together by Catholic bishops. And so you need the Catholic Church for the Bible. Also, there were loads of fake gospels and fake epistles going around in the early church. And so we need Catholic tradition. We need Catholics in the early church to be like, these are the authentic gospels. Because there was like the Gospel of Peter, the Gospel of Thomas, questions of Bartholomew, like letters and gospels claiming to be written by the actual apostles. And then there's the real letters of like 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And so you need Catholics in the early church, like Irenaeus, my patron saint, is one of the first people to attest to the gospels. So it's not like we were just given a Bible. The Bible developed over time, and the Catholic Church gave us the Bible. So Protestants are relying on Catholic tradition, relying on Catholic bishops when they're going by the Bible, which it's impossible to go by the Bible alone because you need Catholic tradition for the Bible. So that was a huge reason why I gave up believing in sola scriptura actually in college, my junior year, because I was learning about how the Bible was put together, and it just clicked in one of my classes when my Catholic professor was like, you can't have the Bible without tradition. And I was like, wow, like that totally makes sense. That's like what I've been learning about in my religion classes. So I think that's really, really important. Okay. Let's see. Edward said, just finished rewatching a debate with James White and Patrick Madrid on Sola Scriptura. Hello from Brazil. Hi, Diego. Saint Dymphna is the patron saint of mental health / mental illness. Common Sense America says, do you think that religious and non-religious people can be friends? Absolutely. Sorry, guys, I just ate. Absolutely, you can be friends with people who have differing beliefs. I think the absolute best evangelism is being friends with people who are not Christian. And so absolutely, you should befriend people of every type of philosophical viewpoint, every type of religion. I think that's really, really important just for understanding the world as well, to have friends of different viewpoints. Absolutely. Raul, thank you for the piece of pie. That's so cute. Thank you. Should Black people turn away from religion given their history with them, especially Black Americans? So I disagree that they should ditch religion altogether. The Catholic Church especially has many Black saints and is a universal church. There have been saints in every single country, every single culture, every single skin color. Yes, the Christians in the US used the Bible to support slavery, but the Bible was also used to free slaves. It was used as a motivating factor. Christians were inspired by the Bible to end slavery, not just in the US, also in Great Britain and parts of Europe. And so, yes, people use the Bible to enslave. They also use Christianity to inspire a movement of ending slavery. So I think you can see it in both ways. I mean, people are going to use the Bible for whatever means they want to and interpret it in whatever way they want to. That's why sola scriptura is so dangerous. I mean, it literally led to slave owners justifying slavery, antebellum slavery. So that's another example of where sola scriptura can go awry. Mimi said, Lizzie, is Mother Teresa of Calcutta a saint? And if she is, what is she the saint of? Why don't we Google what she is the saint of? Saint Teresa of Calcutta. I don't know if she's a saint of Saint Teresa. Saint. You could also Google on your own. Saint Teresa of Calcutta is the patron saint of World Youth Day missionaries. Okay, anyways, someone comment what she is the saint of. Patron. Yeah, anyways, these things are easy to Google yes, okay. Molly A. Catholicism's roots are in Judaism. Looked up Dr. Brandt and Dr. Scott Hahn. Absolutely. Very similar. Like, here are some examples of how Judaism and Catholicism are similar. So Judaism also had scripture and an oral tradition. And they also believe in praying to the dead and like an intermediate state in the same way that we believe in purgatory. Also, the way that they run their religious service, where they're like read scripture, is the same way where like we have a portion of like reading scripture and then da 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 da. So, which is different than Protestantism, where they like intermix scripture within a sermon. So there's just a lot of similarities, and especially with proving Catholicism, there's so much stuff in the Old Testament that proves it. I feel like if religion departments in seminaries and colleges and master's programs studied the Old Testament more, a lot more people would become Catholic. But like in my religion department in my college, we only had to take 2 Old Testament classes of like 15 religion classes. So that's why we didn't learn a lot of stuff that would have proved Catholicism to be true. Gyro says, hello, toddler one. So if you're new here, it's kind of an inside joke that I'm a toddler just because I've been Catholic for 2 years. So I'm a toddler. I used to say I was a baby Catholic, but now I'm a toddler. So I'm going to keep growing. Dimitri says, Lizzie, what are the restrictions like where you are right now, and how are you in general? So I'm in Florida right now, and I was able to go to Mass on Sunday. We went to St. Augustine, which in Florida, they pronounce Augustine because that's just the way that a city is pronounced. And they also spell hippo the wrong way. I think hippo is Hyppo. No. It's Hippo, but I spell it Hyppo because of Florida. So we went to church at the Augustine Basilica, which was really, really cool. They had a lot of beautiful art there. I've been doing really good. It feels nice to get to travel again because I was just quarantined by myself in California for months. So I finally flew to visit my boyfriend, and now we're in Florida. So yeah, it feels really nice to like get out of my surroundings. And after this, I'm going to quarantine with one of my friends in Boston. So I've been only seeing very few people throughout this entire process. A lot of people are quarantined with like their entire family and seeing all their friends. So I chose to be very, very safe through all of this. But now I'm finally traveling and visiting some people. So yes, that's how I'm doing right now. It feels really good. We went to the pool and the beach. So Florida has been really good, but mostly staying at home. Mia said, miss you, Lizzie. It's been a while that I joined your live stream. Looking beautiful as always. Thank you so much. Caitlin said, is 4 years considered a toddler or a little kid? You're a kid now. Nathan said, I thought this was a troll. Nathan said, the Catholic Church is right in this area. We baptisms are invalid. Miranda said, what are your thoughts on Martin Luther and where do you think he went wrong causing the start of Protestantism? So starting off, Martin Luther had a lot of mental issues. He actually fell off a horse and had a lot of brain damage from that. So I think that that contributed to Protestantism starting. He also had crippling anxiety, depression, maybe he had psychosis, we don't know. So he had a lot of issues going on. I think that the number one thing is, I recently made a video talking about this, how, well, this isn't the number one thing, but he removed 7 books from the Bible because in 2nd Maccabees, it talked about praying to the dead, which was a huge proof for purgatory, which he didn't like indulgences, which had to do with purgatory. So he just threw out the entire theology of purgatory instead of like reforming the indulgence system or like making it better. He just threw out a theology completely, which in my opinion is very black and white. And then he threw out books of the Bible as well, but then claims to be going by the Bible. He can't even understand what the Bible is because he literally throws books out of the Bible. So the Sola Scriptura, I think, is the number one thing that where he went wrong. And I have a whole video on why Sola Scriptura is wrong if you're new here. So I will link that video in the chat. It's 10 reasons Sola Scriptura is wrong. And I just talked earlier in the video about how you need tradition to have the Bible. And a council of Catholic bishops decided what is the Bible. So all of that is really, really important. Okay. I linked the video talking about Sola Scriptura. Okay. Nathan said, I think it's possible he had a demonic spirit with him in the end. Okay, so it is an inside joke in my live streams to be like, toys are demonic, coffee is demonic, bipolar is demonic, because people are always like, you're demon possessed when it comes to my bipolar. So that's why I always talk about, we always say like everything's demonic, like as a joke. But in reality, anytime there's a sin area within you, that technically is a demon. Like there are demons oppressing us. It doesn't mean we're like demon possessed, but we're being affected by demons when we have a sin area going on. Does that make sense? So like technically, like he had some demonic activity, but everyone does because everyone has sin areas, if that makes sense, which I think is really interesting. Google account is here. Hi, Lizzie. I watch a Sarasota, Florida Latin Mass sometimes. It's at 9 a.m. Florida time. It's by the Fraternal Order of St. Peter, FSSP. It's nice. I have an app with the Latin Missal with the readings app, iMass. That's really cool. I'm glad you get to do that. Alicia said, hi, Lizzie. How are you? I missed you. Alicia said, I guess I'm a demon. Yeah, everyone has demons in them. And everyone is surrounded by angels as well. So it's really, really beautiful how everything is. How am I doing? So like I said, I'm in Florida right now. It feels really good to get out of California and get out of my apartment and not be quarantining by myself, which I've been doing for months. So it's nice getting to see my boyfriend, spend time together. Getting to go to Mass on the East Coast has been amazing, not having Mass. I am choosing to not receive the Eucharist because in my personal opinion, I don't think anyone should be receiving communion right now just because of the pandemic. I think that it doesn't make sense to me that we have to wear our mask the entire Mass, but then take off our mask and be given the Eucharist, and then the person right behind you a second later also takes off their mask. So someone could be exhaling coronavirus into the air and everyone could be catching it. I mean, the priests even give out the Eucharist without a mask on. So the priest could have the virus and be giving it to people. So I mean, at least if you're going to have people receive the Eucharist at Mass, the priest should be wearing a mask, like 100%, or he's breathing in coronavirus to everyone, all the parishioners coming up to receive the Eucharist. So I think it's really easy to have some extra things in place to help out with everyone's safety. So yeah, I have not received the Eucharist since all of this began, so like February or something. So I'm kind of getting used to it at this point. And I mean, I went my whole life without receiving the Eucharist, so obviously it's going to be like the most joyful experience once I finally get to again, or I guess choose to again. Alex says Luther also wanted to remove the epistles of St. James and some of the Gospels. He didn't want to remove the Gospels because they conflicted with his self-serving heresies. Yes, I forgot to mention that. He couldn't even decide what was in the Bible. So Martin Luther also tried to remove James, Revelation, Jude, from Hebrews from the Bible because he felt like they were too Catholic, which they are because the Bible is Catholic. Gyro says, I was listening to EWTN radio, and apologist put it this way in a debate about sola scriptura. He asked the SC defendant to show him the verse that proved the Gospel of Mark was inspired by God. Interesting. JC says, the Eucharistic ministers in my parish are wearing masks when given the host. That's amazing. I'm so glad that they're doing that. Hi, Anne says, I'm 14 years old and you've helped me so much with my Catholic faith. Thank you. Yay. I'm so happy you get to be Catholic at 14. I wish I had been Catholic that young. Google account says, you are 100% correct about demons having rule over you if you have sin. Father Ripperger says, when you mortal sin, you put yourself under the authority of Satan. Here's a video. Okay. Oh, that if I click on the link, it will make me completely leave the site. Let me copy and paste this into another tab. Cool. It went to the video. Levels of spiritual warfare. Wow, that has a lot of views. Does he have a YouTube channel? Sensus Fidelium. Interesting. Okay. Nora said, really? At my church, everyone has to wear a mask during the communion procession. Yes, everyone wears their masks up. Once you get to the front, everyone takes off their mask to receive the Eucharist. So coronavirus, especially inside, it can be exhaled into the air and then inhaled. So I don't think it's safe having hundreds of people at Mass all receiving the Eucharist together. It's just like, it doesn't feel safe to me at all. Alicia says, guess what, Lizzie? Before the coronavirus, I went to an Orthodox church and I really liked it. I can see why you love it. My dad says there's nothing wrong with it. Nora says, really? Oh, we already read that. Javier says he didn't like, so I think Martin Luther, Aristotelian logic. That's why he discarded the doctrine of transubstantiation, which is actually why eventually Protestantism confuses veneration and adoration. Alicia said, we are Catholic and my dad approves of Orthodoxy. So I can go either way. Do not go either way. You need to stay Catholic. The Orthodox Church broke off from the true church, and they originally viewed the Pope, the Roman bishop, as the first among equals. Then they dipped out and made the Patriarch of Constantinople the first among equals, when originally they thought the Rome was the first among equals. So they contradicted themselves. Please stay Catholic. The Orthodox Church is beautiful. They have valid sacraments. You can attend Orthodox Divine Liturgy. But if you're really drawn towards the aesthetics, which I am, you can attend an Eastern Catholic Rite church like Marianite or Byzantine. So there are so many options of Orthodox-like Catholic churches that you can attend. Victoria said, hey, Lizzie, I took a long break from YouTube and now I'm back. Well, hello. Thank you for being here. James said, howdy from the great state of Texas. Nathan said, Satan is a deceiver. He wants you to think you're doing good. Yeah, I think that one of the number one ways that spiritual warfare happens in the US is because we live in such a physicalist society where we don't really view souls as being immaterial beings as existing, and we don't view God as being a spiritual reality like a lot of people don't. And we don't think of demons as being real and Satan as being real. We just want to make everything physical as much as possible. So I think that a lot of people in our culture, we don't think of Satan and demons as real actual things. And so I think because of that, spiritual warfare happens very, very subtly, and we're almost like we're more immune to it because we don't think of it as being real. Whereas in Asian countries, like some of my best friends from college were from Singapore and Thailand, and there they were very aware of like demonic spirits and spiritual warfare and like ghosts and all these things. Maybe not ghosts, I don't know if I believe in ghosts, but definitely like demonic type stuff going on, whereas here we're not really self-aware of when that's happening. Wendy says, hi Lizzie, don't be scared of thunderstorms, God be with you and family. Alicia says, yeah, it would be hard for me to leave the Catholic Church completely. Thanks for your advice, Lizzie. Catholic Church makes so much more sense because of all your help. That makes me so happy. Definitely find Eastern Catholic churches in your area. They're beautiful. Attend Orthodox Divine Liturgy sometimes if you want, but it's really important to stay Catholic. Daniel says, at my parish, we have the option to receive the Eucharist kneeling and on the tongue, but the priest wears a mask while doing so and puts on hand sanitizer after each person. Wow, so that's where it's at. He's doing a lot better. I'm glad that he's wearing a mask. Victoria says, what do you think about Kanye being bipolar and running for president? Do you think someone with bipolar disorder should be president? Yes, I totally think that a bipolar president would be an amazing president. I think that people with bipolar disorder have very good emotional skills, like very high emotional intelligence, and very passionate, very intelligent, care so much about the world, are very like attuned to like natural disasters, war going on, just are more empathetic to that. And so I think that would make a really, really good president. There have been bipolar presidents. I was reading about this recently. The last bipolar president was Theodore Roosevelt. So absolutely, who's actually my favorite president. Like before I even realized or knew he was bipolar, he was my favorite president. So Theodore Roosevelt did a great job. So obviously Kanye West is in a manic episode right now. So I think that if someone is going to be president who's bipolar, they should be on medication and stay on medication for a long time. So we know that they're like on top of their treatment program and won't just like straight go manic like Kanye West is. So yeah, he's totally in a manic episode. It'll be horrible if he leaves his family and divorces his wife. So hopefully none of that will happen. We definitely need to pray for him. I think it'll be interesting how he'll sway the election a little bit with like a lot of people voting for him rather than Biden or Trump. So it's interesting how everything's going to turn out. I think it would be entertaining if he was part of the presidential debates. I just think that would be very interesting going on. Nora said, I had a tornado today right after I made a world record. Nora says, tomorrow's my birthday, but I just wanted to say thank you for allowing me to grow as a Catholic. And so I am no longer a cradle Catholic. However, your Protestant videos did tempt me. You're no longer a cradle Catholic. Thank you for helping me to grow as a Catholic. Nora said, I had a, what? I don't understand if you're Catholic or not. Anyways, happy birthday. I'm so excited you get another year of life. Jake says, I'm in North Carolina. I'm pretty close to where the earthquake was. You had an earthquake in North Carolina? Or are you talking about like NorCal? What? I didn't know there were earthquakes in North Carolina. Ukmi says, at the Latin Mass I go to, the majority of people wear masks, but the priest doesn't. About 15% either don't wear a mask or don't wear it correctly. Yeah, it's so weird. People who like have masks but are like uncovering their nose. Like, why are you even wearing it? Or like touching their mask the entire time is just so ridiculous. Alex says, I have read Paradise Lost by John Milton, which has given me some new views on heaven and hell, and I made a summary of it. That's really cool. My boyfriend loves Paradise Lost a lot and has written papers on it, but I personally haven't read it. Alicia says, talking about demons, my dog was barking at something here at my house, but there was nothing. So yeah, I don't know. I never try to get scared with things like this. Sky says, is that why you were sitting on the floor because of the storm? No, I just needed a good place to film, and so I have my computer on a chair and I'm sitting on the floor, which actually, like, a lot of my videos through the years have been filmed on the floor. Like when I was in college, pretty much all my videos with like my zebra print backdrop, that was like hanging on my closet and I was sitting on the floor. So that's how a lot of my videos are. Beth said, hi, I'm a bit late, but I finally made it to the live stream. Yay, thanks for being here. Jake says there was an earthquake in North Carolina on Sunday morning. I didn't know about that. That's very interesting. Yes, there was an earthquake in North Carolina. We felt it all the way down here in Greenville, South Carolina. It's so apocalyptic, everything that's happening. I don't understand people who don't believe in global warming and understand how all these things are connected. The fires, the earthquakes, the hurricanes, the tornadoes. It's horrible what's happening to our world. Father Jacob said, watched your Why We Pray to Saints video this morning. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Molly said, Julia, definitely watch Father Ripperger on YouTube. Yes, I will watch that. What Google account just sent. Bruce says, praying for you, Lizzie. Babe, be safe. Only Trevor and my best friends get to call me babe. Anyone else? That's really, really weird and creepy. Please don't call me that. Bethia says, I don't know how to come out to my strict Orthodox parents about wanting to become Catholic. They want to get me involved in the Orthodox community, but I don't want to, and I want to be in Catholicism. That's really, really hard. I would pray and pray and pray for them to understand your decision and for them to become Catholic too. I would do a lot of research into the Great Schism. I recommend a book called Upon This Rock by Stephen Ray. Upon This Rock by Stephen Ray. And it talks in depth about the papacy and evidence for the Pope in the 1st and 2nd and 3rd centuries. So I highly recommend reading that book. And yeah, I would just research more into the history so you can actually prove to your parents that the Catholic Church is the true church. Google account, can I tweet that comment you made about spiritual warfare in Asia? Sure. I screen capped it in the clip in 1 minute. If you say yes, I'll link the tweet in chat when I'm done. Jake Loves Jesus says it could be a sign of the end times. Jesus talks about earthquakes in diverse places. I mean, maybe global warming and the end times are related. We're causing the end times. Ukmi says this isn't the first time there was an earthquake in the East Coast. Interesting. I don't know why I was not aware of this. Alicia said, Lizzie, do you think this is the end of the world or no? No. Literally every time throughout history, everyone looks at what is currently happening, like World War II, the Soviet Union, Obama being president, and they're like, that's the Antichrist. It's the end of the world. Like every culture and time in human history, especially modern times, people are looking at so many different things and they're like, Antichrist, end times. And it's just totally ridiculous. Beth said, I moved onto my college campus last week, but tested positive for COVID. So now I'm in isolation housing. I'm so sorry. So now you have to do online classes again. That's crazy. I hope you get better. Nora said there was a tornado warning today from 3:30 to 4:30 Central Daylight Saving Time originally, but got extended to 7. Molly said, have you made a video on when the Orthodox Church separates? That's a really good idea. I should make a video talking about the Great Schism. I have all my video ideas here. Wow, I have a list of 49 video ideas. This is number 50, Orthodox split, Great Schism. I have a lot of Orthodox Orthodox viewers though, so that will be sad to make a video why you should be Catholic and not Orthodox, but it's also an important video to make. So I should call the video that, why you should be Catholic and not Orthodox. Okay, Mimi says, bye, Lizzie. I'll finish this later if it's still up. Thank you for showing me that Catholicism is the only true faith. Yay! Welcome home to Catholicism. Daniel, Lizzie, have you ever considered having a sacred space in your house or having a home altar in your home? So I don't have a giant apartment. I don't live in a house, but in the future, I would probably make a home altar. Like when I have a house and I'm married and have kids and everything, I would definitely want part of the house to be like a prayer room. But currently, I like in my bedroom having icons and crucifixes and kind of getting to like go to sleep and wake up with them. And also when I'm praying my rosary, a lot of times I'll like take icons and a crucifix and pray with them. Hi, Berlin. How are you doing? How's your night going so far? Liv says, hey, Lizzie, do you have other family members that are bipolar? Yes. This was part of my diagnosis and why I knew that I was bipolar and like psychiatrists were comfortable diagnosing me. So my aunt has bipolar disorder, so my mom's sister, and she's actually cut off the entire family, including her own daughter, because of her bipolar. So she's really dysfunctional. And she believes that her grandma, so my great grandma, my mom's grandma, also was bipolar. And then probably going up and up and up through the generations. So yep, it's from my mom's side. My mom gave me my bipolar disorder. We can appreciate her for all my great bipolar content on my YouTube channel. So yes, it is genetic. So it seems like in my family, it skips a generation. But Trevor actually has bipolar disorder in his family as well. His aunt and cousin both have bipolar disorder. So probably one of our kids will be bipolar, just like statistically, since we both have bipolar genes in our family, which I wouldn't mind bringing a bipolar child into the world because I would know exactly how to love them and help them and what medications work for me, because genetically the medications that work for one person tend to work for the other person as well, if you're like family members genetically related. Oh, also my cousin is bipolar. So my aunt who's bipolar, her granddaughter who she doesn't talk to, which is crazy, also has bipolar disorder, and she's really young, but she's gone through some trauma in her life. So yeah, she's bipolar as well. Caitlin said, hey, Lizzie, how are you doing? I just got here, and how is everyone else doing? I've been doing really good. I've been doing some traveling, so I'm in Florida right now. I've been enjoying the summer weather, the beach, the pool. We've been doing some really cool stuff here. I mean, mostly staying inside, but like playing games and watching movies and stuff. Miranda says, hey, Lizzie, do you have a video about angels and what they're doing among us? I know nothing about angels, but I'm fascinated. Okay, I'll add that to my video list, number 51. By the way, some of these on the video list, a lot of them are crossed out. So it's not like I have 51 videos I'm waiting to film. Angels, okay. Hi, Lizzie. Vanny says, are you still liking magnetic lashes? Yes, I'm addicted to them. So I am wearing them right now. I put them on every morning. I used to not remove my makeup and just like keep false lashes on, but now I take off my eyelashes every night, completely take off my makeup, put on my skincare and everything. So I like it a lot. It's so easy. It takes like a second to apply. And it's cool because when you buy your magnetic lashes, they come with eyeliner, so you don't have to buy eyeliner anymore either. So it's really, really cool. Alyssa says, Lizzie, thank you so much for making videos about Catholicism. I used to want to become non-denominational, but now I am confident Catholicism is the one true church. You also help me defend the faith. Oh, I'm so happy. Jake says, it's so weird when Christians tell you off over teaching repentance. Gyro says, watching movies, don't miss the opportunity to watch The Chosen. Oh, wow, you guys. So I actually downloaded The Chosen app on my phone, but I forgot to watch it. So maybe I'll watch it with Trevor soon. Ukmi says, I binge watched The Chosen. It's a mini series. Nora said, I am still Catholic. I questioned my faith and found your Protestant videos, but when I found were your Catholic videos, you helped me find God again, and I went through my own spiritual journey. Alicia says, do you have any videos about depression? I have depression. Yes, I have made probably like 20 or 30 videos talking about depression. So I'm going to link my YouTube playlist about bipolar disorder and depression. You can actually go to my YouTube homepage, and there is a playlist called Bipolar Disorder and Depression. So I will link it for you right here, and there's loads of videos in it talking about depression, because half of bipolar disorder is depression, half is mania, and then you have some like symptoms that every bipolar person has, like empathy and stuff. But yeah. Okay. Liv says, thank you for answering. This helps a lot to understand my wife's situation. She's bipolar diagnosis, and we think her dad, my father-in-law, is bipolar but not diagnosed. Yeah, it's really interesting looking at people and wondering if they're bipolar just by their attitudes and how they're living their life and everything. Alex says, I avoid antidepressants, which make me psychotic when I was in elementary school. Yes. So if you're bipolar, it's usually really, really, really bad to be on an antidepressant because it causes you to spike up into mania, and in this case, into psychosis. So yeah, not a good idea. Hi, Fatima. Julia says, The Chosen actually is really good, much better than crudier Christian movies like God's Not Dead or War Room. Caitlin says, The Chosen is one of my absolute favorite shows. I think you and Trevor will like it. It's about Jesus calling his apostles or disciples or whatever they are. Okay. Thanks, Lizzie. You're the best, Alicia says. Nicole says, hi, what do you think about the rapture Protestants talk about? So I think that the end times is something I've personally never been interested in, like ever, ever, ever my entire life growing up as a Christian. And I am not clear on everything Catholicism believes about the end times, but it's definitely not a huge emphasis, because in Catholicism, it's all about bringing heaven to earth. And so I think we're very present focused. And also, so like past, present, and future all come together during Mass. So during Mass, when the priest is consecrating the bread and wine into the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Christ in the Eucharist, it's as if Jesus is there, the apostles are there, we're transported back in time 2,000 years and are at the original Last Supper. That's what's happening during Mass. And our worship is also one and the same with the saints in heaven. So past, present, future are all like coming together, this like giant, beautiful conglomeration. So yeah, I think that this obsession with the end times is kind of missing the point of bringing heaven to earth in the present. So Stokes says, do you have any thoughts or advice on ministry in the midst of COVID? Kids in our campus ministry are tired of group chat ministry, but it's one of the few things available to all from the Philippines. So I recommend doing Zoom calls. Zoom is, I don't know if you guys talk about it that much in the Philippines, but in the US, it's like the biggest application right now. But you can do like video chat, like FaceTiming or Skype, but it's through, you can do like a ton of people at once. So you can do Zoom call Bible studies, I think is a really good idea. Caitlin says, I was going to ask this question on your last live stream, but it ended before I could. Is there a particular way that you ask for the saints to intercede for you? So it depends on what I'm going through. I would say like my go-to is my patron saint. But if I'm reading a theology book, I ask the saint to pray for me to understand it. So like if I'm reading a theology book and let's say I'm like reading Jerome and I'm like, this is so confusing, what's going on? Instead of immediately texting or FaceTiming my boyfriend and asking him to explain it to me, I asked Jerome to help me understand his own writing. And a lot of times I read it through again and I understand it immediately after I ask the saint in heaven to help me to understand their own writing. So that's an area in my life where I feel like understanding theology and growing spiritually, that's where the saints help me depending on who I'm reading. And I mean, if I'm reading the Bible, I'll like pray to St. Paul or pray to Peter or pray to John, like whichever book of the Bible I'm reading, I ask them to help me understand it. And then when it comes to like theology I'm reading, if it's more like I read St. Teresa of Avila's Interior Castle, and it was very much like about your prayer life and all these things. I asked her to help me grow in the ways in how the book is affecting me. And then when I lead Bible studies for my job or in like prepping YouTube videos, I ask whichever saint I'm using as research to pray for me. So like Chrysostom wrote a lot of homilies. He lived a long time ago in like let's see, I think it's like the 5th or the 6th century. Let's see, Chrysostom. He died in the year 407, so he lived in the 4th century. Wow, so he was like way earlier than I thought. So and the crazy thing, you guys, about Chrysostom is the current Orthodox Church's liturgy is John Chrysostom, going all the way back to the 4th century. So I read a lot of his homilies and use them as research for my Bible studies. So I always ask him to intercede and pray for me. So those are the different areas of my life where I ask saints to pray for me. I feel like a lot of it has to do with theology because of the scope of my YouTube channel. But if you're going through different things in your life, you should like Google whichever saint is the saint of something. Oh, and recently one of my friends gave birth to a baby. And so I was praying to Saint Teresa de Lisieux's parents because they had so many kids. So I prayed to them for the health of the baby. And 2 of my other friends are pregnant right now. So I'll definitely be praying to saints. What are their names? Let's see. Teresa de Lisieux's parents, Martin and something. Let's see what their names are. Saint Marie Martin, and Louis Martin. So Marie and Louis are the people I pray to for pregnancies. So you just figure out whichever saint relates to it. Acclaim says, I love your live streams. Yay, I'm happy you're here. Victoria says, the saints have answered so many of my prayers. No, they haven't. God answered your prayer. The saint prayed for you. Don't get it confused. It's crazy, and I'm so thankful. Yes. I've seen so many miracles happen too. Okay. Lizzie, what do you think of Return to Tradition with Anthony Stein? I have not seen that. Alex says, it seems as though you practice Lectio Divina. I do Lectio Divina in groups sometimes, like I'll lead it, but I actually don't do it. I do it kind of intuitively. It's kind of like meditation where I don't like intentionally go about meditation, but I do it automatically. It's the same thing when I read my Bible. I analyze it a lot. David says, thank you for the donation. Thank you, Lizzie, for all that you do, and may God bless you and your loved ones. DeClue says, St. Clare's feast day is tomorrow. Also my birthday, but don't pray for me. Interesting. Okay. Lizea said, St. Clare of Assisi, if you want to get pregnant, I prayed for my friend. She's pregnant now. Aw, I'll screenshot this. That's really, really sweet. James says, I was watching a YouTube video about how an early Catholic art showed Jesus as a young boy with a magic wand. How crazy. That seems like completely made up. Read my previous comment. I love your live streams, Lizzie. I'm trying to find it, and I literally cannot find it. Caitlin says, is there any particular way you have to talk to your guardian angel? I just like ask my guardian angel to protect me and to help me in different situations. I honestly pray to my friends' guardian angels more than me. So I pray for them to help my friends convert into Catholicism. If someone's like going into a surgery, for them to be safe. If someone's traveling, for them to be safe, stuff like that. You should check out the videos of Father Mark Goring. I've actually been recommended that a lot. His name is really familiar. Ukmi says, I've also watched Father Mark Goring the past 2 weeks. Wow. Well, I should definitely check him out then. Here, I will screenshot. Paulo says, when was the rosary first used? So in the Middle Ages, I made an entire video talking about the rosary. I will link it below. We'll link it in the chat. Rosary, Lizzie's Answers. I talked about the history of it. It was prayer beads were used earlier, but then Saint Dominic preached, his feast day was like yesterday, I think. He preached the importance of the rosary. So I have linked in the chat my video talking about the history of the rosary. So go watch that one. Please pray for my friend Stephanie, who is currently considering Catholicism but is emotionally hesitant because of her anxiety. Caitlin says, I missed who you said was having a baby, but congratulations to them. My sister's having a little girl pretty soon. Yeah, multiple friends of mine are pregnant right now. Fatima says, my guardian angel is so lonely because I have never prayed to him. Okay, but there's a verse in the Bible that says all our guardian angels are in the sight of God in heaven. And so it's not like your guardian angel is just like physically floating around with you on earth. Your guardian angel's in heaven surrounding God's throne with like billions of other angels. So your guardian angel isn't lonely. She might be, actually, guardian angels don't have gender, so they might be sad that you don't appreciate them very much, but they like intimately know your life and are like within your mind in a lot of different ways with understanding who you are and what you've been through. So your guardian angel probably feels very, very like deep connection with you. A list of priests to watch, Molly A is saying. Someone is almost at 100,000 subs. Molly says, for end times, watch Queen of Peace Media. I actually met the person who runs Queen of Peace Media, I believe. I don't know if it's the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same one that you're talking about. I think I might go soonish. I know I've only been streaming for an hour, and usually I stream for like 2 hours or an hour and a half, but I might actually go watch The Chosen because you guys want me to watch that. But I've been going to bed a lot earlier and getting up earlier, and I'm on the East Coast right now, so it's almost like 11 o'clock. So, Google account, do you mind if I tweet clips of your videos as long as I tag you and link to the original YouTube video? Yeah, absolutely. My comment about St. Clair was in response to someone's message about her friend. Perfect timing to pray for her pregnant friend. Aw, Vanny, thank you for the donation. Please continue to pray for my 13-year-old daughter, Sophia, who doesn't want to become Catholic. Yes, I will pray for Sophia. Ukmi says, watch The Chosen and Father Mark Goring. Love Taylor. Miranda says, so I understand I can pray to an angel, a saint, or God directly. Yes, you can pray to your guardian angels. You can pray to saints in heaven. Pray, the Old English word for pray means to ask. And so you're asking them to pray for you, and you're asking your guardian angel to watch after you. Google account says that Jesus in The Chosen's real first name is my name. That's so cool. Gyro says, my grandmother taught me this prayer at 6 years old. My guardian angel, my sweet companion, do not leave me alone at day or at night, as I might get lost until you bring me at last in joy and peace. That's a really sweet name. Lizzie, my name's pronounced you see me rollin'. You see me rollin'. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I missed that. Okay. You see me rolling. That's so funny. Says there wasn't anybody named Google in The Chosen. No, he's talking about his real name. He's not talking about Google account. Is obviously not the name of someone. That's so funny. If one with apostolic succession powers who absolves sins, but at the end of his life is discovered to have been a child molester, were the sins he absolved forgiven? Yes. So when a priest is in the person of Christ in confession, it's not just the priest who's there, but Jesus is physically there in the priest. And so it's Jesus who is forgiving the sins. Obviously, it's the priest through Jesus. It is all Jesus' power. The priest is still there, but Jesus is also there. So it's through the power of Jesus, not the power of an evil priest. Hi, Arul. How are you doing? Fatima says, my mom did too, but I am afraid to do it wrong because in Mexico it's associated with the new edge. Interesting. I don't know what you guys are talking about right now. We have been going for an hour. So I think this is a good time to dip out. It's been fun live streaming. I will live stream again soon. What's today? Monday. So I think I'm traveling. When am I traveling again? I need to figure out when like my flight is and stuff. Let's see. I think I'm traveling on Friday. Interesting. Okay. Caitlin says, bye. Miranda says, I think an angel helped me when I was in a horrific car crash. I had to be sawed out of my car, but someone sat with me and rubbed my hair, telling me help was coming until help arrived, then disappeared. Wow, that's so I just got shivers reading that. That's so cool to actually get to like see and meet your angel. I'm getting shivers. That's so beautiful. Beth says, bye, Lizzie. Caitlin says, have fun in Florida. Raul says, hi, Lizzie. Paragraph 1441 of the Catechism tells us that priests have no power in and of themselves to forgive sins, but rather it is God working through them. Absolutely. Hi, Raul. Lizzie's about to go, though, I think. Okay, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you for being here. I'll announce my next 2 videos. I already did on Twitter, but my next video is going to be about cursing. In my last live stream, I mentioned that I actually curse in my real life, not online, but I do use curse words. And everyone was like, what? You're so pure. You curse. You're so innocent. But yes, I do. So the video is, half of the video is about using God's name in vain and how to stop using his name in vain and different ways of using his name in vain that we need to get rid of and eliminate from our lives. And the second part of the video is talking about unwholesome talk Bible verses and if cursing is okay as Catholics. I also made a video talking about the top 10 reasons that bipolar people go off their medication and why they're all invalid, horrible reasons to go off meds. So both of those videos are coming up. Raul said I was here. I was just saying hi again. Can't wait for the video. I'm so excited for you guys to see it. I will see you guys in my next video. I love you so much. Bye.